Hi, my name is Brian, and this is Crypt Finder. Thanks so much for swinging by the crypt this evening and just hanging out with me because I am continuing a series all about the very eerie, enigmatic world of made-for-TV horror movies. But I'm going to be stepping outside the horror zone tonight for this particular film. It's sort of a murder thriller. It has an odd kind of comedic bent to it, though. From 1973, the movie is Isn't It Shocking? Now, that title even has a little bit of levity in that, too. It certainly sounds like the kind of question that would float through a small town, through the rumor mill. But it also is lending itself to the sense of dark humor here because once you find out how these murders are actually being committed, yeah, that title takes on new meaning. Now, this film isn't your typical kind of fare. It's a unique blend of suspense and mystery and unexpected but completely intentional humor. It's all set in a small, sleepy New England town called Mount Angel. This was directed by the very talented John Badham. He would, of course, go on to make a slew of very well-known films, including Saturday Night Fever, also War Games, and he was also the director of the Frank Langella big screen adaptation of Dracula. This movie really, it stands out here. It's got some quirky characters, a cleverly woven plot, and frankly, a pretty chillingly creative murder weapon. Alan Alda was just starting out his legendary role as Hawkeye Pierce in the TV series MASH, debuting really just the previous year, and he firmly cements himself here as the leading man as Police Chief Dan Barnes. Dan is the kind of character you instantly like him. He's laid back, he's affable, he's sharp as a tack, but he also kind of dreams of getting out and making a name somewhere else. You can kind of think a little bit of Sheriff Andy Taylor from the Andy Griffith Show. If Andy Taylor had been a little bit more restless and wanted to get out of Mayberry a little bit more, I mean, think along those lines just a little bit. Aldo's portrayal, he brings a lot of warmth and relatability to the role, making the mystery that's unfolding around him all the more engaging. In other words, he's a character that you're really rooting for. The tranquil life of Mount Angel is completely uprooted because some of the senior members of the community begin dying, seemingly from just sort of normal heart attacks. And that's not that unusual. It's a town filled with a lot of older residents. But Dan's instincts begin to tell him, no, there's a little bit more to the story here. And helping him piece all of this together is his very loyal secretary, Blanche. She's played by Louise Lasser. Lasser would soon achieve complete cult status in the groundbreaking soap opera parody, Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. And here, yep, she brings her trademark mix of earnestness and quirky charm. Her chemistry with Alda adds a lot of depth to this film, with their banter providing light relief among all of the suspense. The two of them realized that all of the victims were all members of the same high school class, which begins to spark somewhat of a sinister suspicion that these deaths are not as random as they seem, but actually the work of a cold, calculated killer. As the investigation deepens, Dan discovers a really chilling secret, one that involves an experimental machine capable of delivering a fatal electric shock. This concept alone it's pretty genius. It's the inventive plot twist here with this kind of inverted defibrillator that sets Isn't It Shocking apart from other thrillers of its time. The mastermind behind these murders turns out to be someone with a vendetta, a grudge that has festered for decades, leading to a spree of revenge-fueled killings. The killer's motivation, which is rooted in an incident of public humiliation, actually adds quite a bit of layers to his story and sort of fleshes out some of the darker side of human nature. Remember, this was 1973. The term serial killer was just coming into the common vernacular sometime in the 1970s, so it would have been very much a normal sort of trope within any particular film of the time to have a reason why the killings are being committed. So it was born more out of the necessity of what was sort of allowable and standard at the time versus what you would see in modern films today. The idea of someone killing without a distinctive motive, yeah, a lot less common than today. The film's climax is both tense and also darkly humorous, much like the format of the rest of the film as well. But it is a real testament to Badham's direction here that he can kind of balance the suspense and the levity. Dan's final confrontation with the killer, it's a high-stakes game of wits. Isn't It Shocking is more than just a whodunit. It's a cleverly crafted thriller. It pokes fun at the quirks of small town life, but it still keeps you on the edge of your seat. The film's eccentric characters, the offbeat humor, the very inventive use of a murder weapon, it sort of makes it a standout in the made-for-TV thriller genre. This was a movie, it had been on my radar for many years, but I'd never had the chance to see it, and when I finally did sit down and watch it, about halfway through, I actually made a mental note because I found myself saying out loud, this is a really good movie. For Alan Alda fans, this film is going to be a real delightful treat. It really showcases his range beyond just comedy, and if you're a Louise Lasser fan, it's fascinating to see her in a role just before she became that household name in Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Edmond O'Brien, a prolific actor from stage and screen, he plays the killer really well. He has a kind of sulking menace to him, and he's constantly wolfing down candy bars. Oh, that's not a spoiler, by the way. Sorry. The movie starts off with one of the murders, and so you clearly know who the killer is. This is not one of those films where, as an audience, you're going along for the ride to discover the identity of the killer. No, this is much more about knowing who the killer is, but you go along trying to figure out why the murders are being perpetrated. So if you're in the mood for a murder mystery with a side of dark humor and a dash of small town charm, Isn't It Shocking is definitely worth a watch. Frankly, the well choreographed and well executed car chase scene through the cornfield really lets John Badham shine as a director. It's a very inventive scene, and it's one that you just didn't see in a whole lot of made-for-TV movies for a couple reasons. One, the expense, but also, two, it really lets you in, kind of keys you in to some of the killer's character motivation here. His violent tendencies are just continue ramping up as he circles through the corn, demolishes Alan Alda's police car. It's unexpected, but a very thrilling scene. Another thing I will just add here is it's a little bit refreshing to see a scene continue even while the end credits are playing. Some people might find that a little bit distracting, and they might think, well, if it was that important, why wouldn't you just show us that in the film? But the idea that these characters that we've been witnessing, that there's a sense of realism about them and that their lives are going to go on even after we stop watching, I don't know. It just it was a nice touch then, and it would certainly be a nice touch now. So that's it. I hope you actually take a look at Isn't It Shocking? It's a really interesting, fun, inventive murder thriller. And so that's it. I'm going to leave you for now, but I will be back soon. Please hit the like and subscribe button. That just lets YouTube know, yep, you like this kind of content and you'd like to see more of this. And until next time, everyone, stay curious and stay scared.